Alright, let's get to it. Hello everybody, welcome back to my series of Ninjago episode review live streams. In today's stream we are talking about episode 80 of Ninjago, entitled The Quiet One. This is of course the 6th episode of Season 8, Sons of Garmadon, and we will continue throughout the week filling out these reviews. If all goes well, we will be done by next week, Monday, and then we can start on Season 9. Welcome everyone joining us here today for this stream. I am extremely tired today. So yeah, we're just gonna hopefully keep this rolling, and hopefully I don't fall asleep during this. Let's go ahead and go over the schedule in case you guys are new here. We stream Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Central Time, with an episode review and a Q&A. We will update this day by day. If there's ever a day where I can't stream, I will let you guys know via my community tab. Like I said, we're talking about The Quiet One here, the 6th episode of Season 8. Lots of big reveals going on in this episode, I will say, specifically with Harumi and the little baby Wu. So what we usually do throughout these streams, we just let the episode pictures run in the background as we break down the plot, the good, the bad, and then finally we will give the episode a score out of 10. In terms of a drink today, I have myself a cold water bottle. I put it in the freezer last night and it's all nice and cold, so you know. Yeah, I wonder who the quiet one's gonna be. Oh, the shocking revelations in this episode for sure. I remember when this episode was coming out, a lot of people were theorizing of who the quiet one was gonna be. A lot of people just assumed it was gonna be like somebody that we knew already, like an older villain secretly returning. But no, it's Harumi, which I think is actually a pretty good twist, if you will. It does kind of make a lot of sense. We'll talk more about that later on. Got mango juice, nice. I had some of that last night. It's pretty good stuff, I will say. But yeah, this episode is pretty good. Let's go ahead and break down the plot, and then, like I said, we'll discuss good and bad, and finally give it a score out of 10. The episode begins with Lloyd and Harumi basically looking through the jungle. They're being chased by this weird creature thing that almost looks like a Grundle from Season 2, except it's bright green. So they hide from it and successfully escape. They're currently trying to find the third mask. It's somewhere in this forest, in this jungle, in an Oni temple. So we will see that later on, of course. Meanwhile, the ninja are working on the bounty, trying to get it up and running again, and Zane and Pixel actually have a little discussion about her new physical form. Pixel is unsure if her new physical form is useful at all, compared to her digital self, of course, who just kind of resided in Zane's head. She asks Zane what he would prefer, her to go back in the computer or her to be a physical being again and be Samurai X. Zane, of course, says, sweetly, he's like, you know what? The choice has always been yours. I don't care what you do as long as you're happy, and it kind of makes them happy, and it's a very sweet moment between Zane and Pixel. Definitely the most wholesome couple throughout all of Ninjago for sure. But I really did like that little, I guess, self-crisis that Pixel was going through in this episode. I thought that was really cool. We'll talk more about that later on when we get into the good stuff. Meanwhile, Lloyd and Harumi are basically trying to find the third mask, like I said, in this jungle, and they end up coming across some weird stuff in the jungle, such as plants that can strangle you or whatever. It's quite scary when you think about it. So, um, yeah, I could see why Pixel would still have half of Zane's heart. Now, I'm not sure if that's like a physical reference or just a metaphorical one, but either way, I think it fits with that scene. So, really enjoyed that. But yeah, Harumi's been doing some stuff in this jungle that seems a little too good to be true. Like, for example, when Lloyd is being strangled by these plants that strangle people, Harumi just throws a sword at it very accurately and swiftly, which Lloyd comes to question. You're getting lag. I'm not seeing any lag on my end, so it might just be your connection. If you want to try to refresh the stream on your end, it'll probably fix it. The stream tells me when we're lagging over here, and I don't really see anything on my end, so. Um, but yeah, going back to what Harumi did, she flicks the sword at the thing, and it's a little too good to be true. Lloyd starts to question it, and then Harumi pulls him in for a kiss. So Lloyd got a kiss but from a princess. It's amazing. um, but yeah, Harumi is obviously very suspicious. Put your Among Us jokes in the chat right now. She's a little too good at fighting off the dangers, but eventually they do kind of get over that and they find a boat with a map. Now, the boat is presumably from an earlier expedition to find the same mask, as the map is the exact same that they have. So, very suspicious there as well. It's almost like someone's been here before, trying to find the mask in this very same location. Interesting. I don't think Lloyd's supposed to be 12 here. He looks a little bit too old to be 12. Like here, I think they're both like in their late teens, I imagine. Lloyd's obviously a little older than Harumi, but at the end of the day, again, who really cares? They're Lego people, so. But yeah, I don't ship Lloyd and Harumi necessarily. I think they're good together, but I ship them both with other people more, I guess. But I understand that there's a lot of people that do ship them, and this episode was pretty crazy for for the shipping community. Yeah, I've always kind of lined it up Lloyd's age with his Ninjago movie age, so. Yeah, he changed his age, meaning that he aged up, meaning he's not 12. So, I rewatched these before we get started with the reviews. I rewatched them the night prior. So, for example, last night I watched this episode and jotted down some notes, took some screenshots or whatever. Going back to the plot, the ninja keep working on the bounty, and suddenly the baby can walk now and hand people pliers. And the ninja are just like, all right, well, this is fun. The baby can walk now. So they kind of question that a little bit. The baby starts drinking tea as well and says a famous line that's kind of familiar to the ninja. The baby said, "Ninja never quit," which causes the ninja to go, "Wait." That's Wu. And sure enough, the baby is Master Wu, and it was revealed here for the first time. Of course, the other ninja kind of come in as well, and they accept it. They're like, "Oh yeah, it's Wu for sure." They start discussing how it is Wu, though. They kind of realize that it is, but now they discuss how exactly Wu got to be a baby. Meanwhile, the Sons of Garmadon are also on their way, running through the jungle, or rather riding their motorcycles through the jungle. Ultraviolet's just screaming chaotically out in the middle of the jungle. It's a lot of fun stuff. But then we cut back to the ninja, and they discuss how, again, Wu is a baby. Nia theorizes that it has something to do with the reversal blade, and yeah, that's pretty much right. They kind of come to the conclusion that after Wu was hit by the reversal blade, instead of de-aging him entirely, it just ended up aging him backwards. You know, it didn't. It stopped his rapid aging from Hands of Time, but it also keeps on, re-reversing it. It kept bringing him back and back more until he was a baby. So, um, do my current reviews have the same scores as the original? Not always. Sometimes they do line up, but sometimes my opinions change. Like we could see that happening for a couple of episode reviews this go around. So, um, but yeah, they realize that Wu is the baby, and that kind of, it doesn't really explain why the Sons of Garmadon were going after him, but it does explain who the baby is. So I personally accept that, and yeah, we're gonna see little baby Wu rapidly age here throughout the next couple of episodes and the entirety of season 9 as well. He's already starting to rapidly age, so would that mean Kai's dad is also a baby? See, I was kind of thinking that as well. I think that what the difference is that after Wu was hit by the reversal blade, he immediately went through a time vortex. I don't know if that has something to do with it, or or not. But yeah, that would kind of explain why Wu is a baby and why Rei is not. So yeah. Meanwhile, the ninja hear the Sons of Garmadon out in the jungle, and Pixel flies off to buy the ninja a little bit more time to get the bounty up and running. So good on Pixel. Pixel manages to fight off the Sons of Garmadon for a little bit, but ultimately it proves unsuccessful. Back in the jungle, Lloyd and Harumi are attacked by some type of underwater crab beast thing. It's not super clear what it is. It's like a giant crab, almost giant crustacean with its large claws coming out of the water and whatnot. They barely escape with their lives, of course, but they eventually do. The crab is kind of scared off, and they wonder, oh, what scared off the crab? And they go over a waterfall. So, or at least they almost do. They eventually save themselves. I think they actually do go over the waterfall now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, they do. Forgive me, I'm very tired. But they do go over the waterfall. However, they are saved, and they do rescue their own lives, if you will, to an extent, and they continue to walk through the jungle. So that's fun. Meanwhile, back at the bounty, we're kind of bouncing back and forth here. Back at the bounty, there's a scan that is complete. Pixel's scan of the Quiet One's message has been completed, and they realize where the location of the message came from. It actually came from inside the bounty itself. Now they come to realize here that since they were the only people on the bounty with Harumi, and obviously none of them are the Quiet One, it has to be Harumi. And as soon as they realize this, they realize that they need to warn Lloyd. Unfortunately, the Sons of Garmadon have now reached the bounty and are attacking them. So there's a little bit of a fight that breaks out on the bounty. Eventually, the Sons of Garmadon just simply overpower the ninja and capture all of them. But yeah, it's a very creepy reveal, and I actually really enjoy that. We then cut back to Lloyd and Harumi. They find the Oni temple, and Harumi gives off a little bit of a sinister smile, if you will, as the episode comes to a close. So that's fun. I like how the episode actually ended. So, oh no, I just spoiled the season from 3 years ago. I know, it's crazy. But yeah, let's get into some good and some bad. I got a little bit of both here. So, in terms of good, again, talking about the Harumi reveal, I liked it. I like how the ninja, like it all happens super quickly. The ninja realize that it is Harumi, and they go to tell Lloyd, and we as an audience member are kind of like, whoa, 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 okay. So Harumi's the quiet one, yada yada, that kind of explains a lot. But we don't even get a chance to sit before the Sons of Garmadon start attacking, which makes the scene a lot more tense and a lot more, I guess, what do you call it, like enjoyable to experience, I'd say. It's definitely a lot of fun. I thought that was written really nicely. Again, with the final scene as well, with Harumi kind of sitting there smirking, that was a little too on the nose. That was a little too like, all right, well, I guess she is the quiet one. I would have preferred if the episode would have just ended with that. That way, it would set up a lot more tension for the next episode. But hey, whatever works. Harumi does do a lot of really suspicious stuff in this episode. Like I said, she seems to be very good at fighting. She seems to know a little bit too much of what's going on, and even Lloyd starts to pick up on that too. But ultimately, Lloyd decides to go back on his suspicions and continue with his trust. So, big mistake there on Lloyd's end, but then again, how could he have known? The ninja know at this point, but Lloyd certainly doesn't. He'll find out soon enough, though. Speaking of big reveals, again, the Baby Master Wu reveal, that was done really nicely as well. I liked that. With Baby Wu, it kind of sets up itself and explains itself away. Like Wu starts walking around, and it's like, oh wait, the baby is rapidly aging, and he can talk now, and he drinks tea, and he quotes famous Master Wu lines. It's probably not Master Wu, you know what I'm saying? No, it certainly is Wu. And I thought that reveal was done really nicely as well, especially with the ninjas' reactions to that. They immediately start theorizing, and what was cool at the time was that a lot of the theories that they were talking about were actually theories that the community had come up with before, like the reversal blade theory. That was a really big theory going around the community before season 8 was released. I remember when the baby was revealed, there were a whole bunch of theories talking about what it could be or who it could be, and the most popular theory was Master Wu. I think the second most popular theory was Garmadon, because maybe it was like a failed attempt to revive Garmadon and he was just brought back as a baby. So, I thought that theory was cool too. But I thought it was nice to actually see the show kind of communicate what the fans were thinking. I thought that was really nice. Again, with the reversal blade theory, it makes sense. Like it makes logical sense. Of course, some plot holes are prevalent with that theory, but for the most part, I think it works, and I think that's an actual good explanation as to how Wu got to be a baby again. I just liked the big reveal. I thought it was cool, and of course, now that the cat's out of the bag, we actually know what to do now. We know that the baby is Wu, and we know what stakes are out there. So I thought that was cool. I also want to talk a little bit about the Sons of Garmadon, especially their battle with the ninja. They kind of fight Samurai X or Pixel earlier in the episode, but that fight's kind of insignificant, if you will. But their battle with the ninja towards the end is actually somewhat enjoyable. It's very short and it doesn't last all that long, but like I said, when it ties into that big reveal with Harumi, it works, I'd say. It actually works out quite a bit. So, can't really complain too much about that. Also, the last thing that I want to talk about in terms of good stuff is the Zane and Pixel scene. Really love that scene. I absolutely enjoy that. It's right at the beginning of the episode, but we get a little bit of a heartfelt moment between Zane and Pixel. Talked about that earlier, but Pixel questions her own usefulness as a team member now that she's physical again, and I thought that was cool. It's definitely something that we can see Pixel doing, having been in the computer for so long. Was she more useful as a program inside Zane's head? I would argue no. I think she's a lot more useful as Samurai X, and she's been Samurai X for several seasons now, cut to the modern day, and it's currently season 14, and she's still Samurai X. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. So, what are Zane and Pixel's power sources after they got their new bodies? I imagine they cooked something up. I almost want to say that the power sources transferred over, but that really doesn't make much sense. I'd say like metaphorically it does, like I mentioned earlier, but I don't know. When they rebuilt themselves, they must have given themselves like a new power source. Maybe Borg had something lying around for Zane, and maybe Nia found something in the Samurai X cave. Not super sure. I'm not sure if that's ever mentioned. I can't remember that ever being mentioned. Either way, I really like that scene between Zane and Pixel. In terms of bad stuff, I don't got a whole lot to talk about, just a couple of minor things. First of all, some of the Harumi and Lloyd scenes are very awkward and uncomfortable to watch, I will say, especially because, well, at the end of the day, like, Lloyd is just kind of like a bumbling teen, just kind of going about his day, and Harumi is there trying to manipulate him, obviously. We see it, he doesn't really see it, but it creates for some awkward scenes that are not a lot of fun to watch. It's kind of painful watching Lloyd fall for these tricks over and over again, and that's not like a fault of the episode, I guess, but it's more of like I couldn't stand watching it, I suppose. It's only a couple of scenes in particular. For instance, the scene where, yeah, Harumi kisses him. It's very awkward, and it's kind of, I don't want to say cringy, but it's just like, oh, let me look away from the screen for a minute because I can't handle that. Just minor things, nothing too major. I also wanted to talk about how the Sons of Garmadon were extremely boring up until the very end. Like, we see them a couple of times throughout the episode, just kind of riding around the jungle, Ultraviolet's just screaming randomly. It's like there's only so much of that I can handle before it starts to get boring and annoying to keep cutting back to. We see it happen quite a bit. Like, there's a bit in this episode where the Sons of Garmadon try to cross a bridge, and it's like, all right. It's like, cool, what significance does that play? I don't care about that. Let's cut back to the main ninja. We just got the big reveal of Master Wu. You know what I'm saying? It just seemed like a waste of time, and it wasn't super great up until the very end. So just kind of figured I'd talk about that a little bit. In terms of my score, though, it's not enough to take off too many points, but what I did give this episode was a 9 out of 10. And as you can see, my original score is the same. So 9 out of 10, 9 out of 10. This episode was so long ago, why are we talking about it now? Well, we've been streaming these episodes for quite some time. We've started with season 1, and now we're on season 8, so I think you might have missed out on a couple of streams. But yeah, let's put some of your scores in the chat as I drink the water. I wouldn't say it was the kiss that was too much for me. It was more like the awkwardness surrounding it and how it wasn't like legit. Like, Harumi didn't legitimately have feelings for Lloyd, and it's just it's hard to watch because you feel bad for Lloyd to an extent. A bunch of 9s and 8s and 10s right off the bat. Now we're just talking about the quiet one randomly in the middle of nothing. A couple 9s, bunch of 8s. Yeah, as you can see here, sometimes the scores do line up, like my original score does indeed line up with my current score. That doesn't always happen, but sometimes it does. So, yeah, it's not as bad as Wu and Masako, I will say that. However, that was extremely awkward in and of itself, and I remember taking off points for that kind of stuff too. It's just awkward because, it's like some kiss scenes in Ninjago are fun to watch, like for couples that I support. It's like, yeah, you go. But Harumi doesn't care about Lloyd, at least not here just yet. So it just seemed a little, like a little fake, a little hard to watch. I suppose that's the point, though. In general, I guess I'm taking off more points for the Sons of Garmadon being boring and useless throughout the majority of the episode. But yeah, that'll pretty much do it for my review of The Quiet One. I'm seeing anywhere in the chat scores from like 7 to 10. I'd say that's like the average. A lot of season 8 episodes are very good, and I've given a lot of very high scores this season. So very good. Let's go ahead and wrap this up here. That's been my review of The Quiet One. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about Game of Masks, which is the the 7th episode of season 8. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. In terms of the stream, though, we're not done just yet. Got a couple of other Q&A stuffs to talk about. So we still got a long time left in the stream. We stream for an hour total, and we're only about 23 minutes in. So why don't we go ahead and talk about just random stuff, but I'm trying to figure out what season we should start on. Why don't we start with Possession, because I don't think we've done Possession in a while. So No, I'm caught up with every episode. Like, we're just reviewing some of the older ones that I either hadn't reviewed yet or I want to update my thoughts on them. We're only going to be streaming these reviews up until the end of season 9, and then we're going to stream something else. So, um, what's Waffle been up to? She's just been roaming around. Recently, one of the other stray cats has been hanging out in the apartment like a little bit. She's kind of getting used to the other cats. I'm not sure if she's going to be a permanent stay in the house because we're still trying to like put her in a cage and bring her somewhere, but she hates cages, so it's harder than what it seems. But yeah, Waffle doesn't like her, but the other cats like her. So, you know. What was my favorite ninja in the pilot? Well, my original favorite ninja was Jay. Like when there were only four to choose from, I liked Jay. Then I liked Lloyd as soon as Lloyd was kind of introduced to be the Green Ninja. I thought that was cool, and I liked Lloyd all the way up until the Ninjago movie. In which case, or then at that point, my favorite had switched to Cole because I really liked Cole in the Ninjago movie, and season 8 was coming out at the time of the movie, or at least after the movie, and I really liked Cole in season 8, so Cole became my favorite. What was the big crash yesterday? I have no idea. Like after stream, I went outside and looked. I couldn't find anything, so I don't know what was going on yesterday. But yeah, if you guys were on stream yesterday, there was like this big crash outside my house, and I didn't know what it was. It almost sounded like two cars hitting each other, and I looked outside and I couldn't see anything. So I don't know what it was. Some big crash might have been something. Might have been like a truck driving past or whatever. But I didn't see anything afterwards. So um. But yeah, I don't know what that was. Some of you guys predicted that it was the Destiny's Bounty falling out of the sky. Very well could have been at that point. We live in a house. We just have like the top floor, so it's kind of like an apartment and a house combined, I guess. We live in like this house, you know. There's like people that live below us on the bottom floor, and then we live on the top floor. So could have been some downstairs as well. The crash was the ninjas charging out of the portal in Endgame. Oh yeah, I was looking at, speaking of Endgame, I was looking online today. Apparently they're re-releasing Avatar, and it's if they make like a certain amount of money, they can beat Endgame again and be the highest grossing movie again, which is really weird. It's like, why are they releasing Avatar again? I feel like Endgame is kind of in danger of being overtaken as the highest grossing movie yet again. Why were Wu's powers in season 11 just an energy blast instead of creating stuff? I feel like creation is kind of a difficult element to show on screen. Like we've seen it a bunch of different ways, and you know, as it stands right now, like Master Wu can just create something out of nothing. Like that's his thing. But eventually it's like, well, how would that look in a fight, you know? And I feel like it would just be some type of weird energy blast or whatever. That's kind of what Lloyd's power became as well. It's not really an explicit element, so I guess they can kind of just make things up as they go along. It's not something like fire or lightning where it's easy to show. So, the Avatar that's not the last Airbender. The Avatar that actually made money. Like the Avatar Last Airbender movie. Yeah, not good, not good. Not good at all. Is season 14 coming out on Netflix? I have no idea. If they do release it on Netflix, I'm not sure um, when that'll be out or whatever. So yeah, they re-released Endgame too. But with Avatar, this is like the third time now because Avatar had a re-release when it came out too. So it's like a third release or a fourth release, whatever it's on now. I know it's not the second one. So Endgame can always be released again as well if they really wanted to. Best elements is the element of surprise. Yeah, the legendary Fuchsia Ninja from the Ninjago movie. Who are the parents of the first Ninjutsu Master? The first Ninjutsu Master was just kind of born of Oni and dragon heritage. I'm not sure if he has any like parents per se, as much as he has just like creators, I guess. I wouldn't say that he has parents, but he was just created of Oni and dragon. So he's kind of like a spawn of both of those, if you will. I'm not sure if he has explicit parents. Maybe the crash yesterday was an invisible waffle mech. Might as well have been. I have no idea what that big crash was. Like we paused stream for a little bit so I could go investigate. I didn't see anything inside, and outside I didn't see anything either. So, do I have any siblings? I do. I am the oldest of three children, meaning I have two younger siblings. So, What happened to Lloyd's golden power after rebooted? Well, the majority of it was taken up by the Overlord, and the remaining like 10-ish% that Lloyd had left over was given to the rest of the ninja to restore their own powers in the Temple of Light. That was obviously going to set up season 4. So, yeah, Lloyd's golden power is just nowhere to be found anymore. How's my day been? It's been all right. I'm very tired. Like I woke up feeling exhausted and just not well rested. But admittedly, now that I'm kind of on stream talking about it, you know, it's gotten better. Lloyd had 5% left. I've always heard it was 10. I'm not sure where those numbers came from though. Either way, he gave the remaining percentage to the ninja, and now the ninja have their powers back. Because they didn't for the longest time. They had like very little of it. Why did the ninja need weapons to use their powers when their parents didn't? That's a good question. Like in terms of why, like I've always kind of compared them to like the other elemental masters. Like how come the ninja like needed the golden weapons before they unlocked their true potential? And I think that was just because, well, they hadn't unlocked their powers just yet, obviously. But what I'm saying is like how come their powers were drained after the golden weapons disappeared? I think it's just because they had the primary elements, and the golden weapons took up a large majority of them. Why am I always tired? Because I work a lot, man. I work on this channel a lot. Like I wake up and stream. Obviously, basically the first thing I do whenever I wake up is stream. Then after that, I'm working on videos all day, setting up the stream for the next day, working on other projects that I'm doing for this channel. I work a lot. I think I usually work like like yesterday I worked like from noon when we started the stream to like 9 or 10, I think, is when I got done. Can't say for sure. Obviously with breaks in between, but yeah, I work a lot. So, how many pets do I have? Right now we have 3 cats here, and that's about it. Well, 4 if you count the stray cat that comes in and hangs out sometimes. No, I don't have another job. I just do YouTube full time. And even that kind of wears me out. And I haven't had the last couple of weekends off. If you guys know my schedule, you would know that usually I try to get weekends off, and I work a lot during the week so that I can have weekends off. Hasn't been the same the past couple of weeks because there's been stuff coming out in the weekends, like season 14 episodes that I want to review the day of, and I can't obviously do those videos during the week because the episodes aren't out just yet. So it's been a lot of days working straight. So any updates on the ghost kitty? We see him around sometimes, but he's not very social. Like I said, he just kind of like sniffed my hand and ran away. So yeah, there's ghost kitty. Yeah, I will say, yeah, I make enough on YouTube to live off of for the time being. So like I can make it my full-time job, so I don't need to go out and get like another job. Like YouTube's been doing well for me, in terms of living expenses and whatnot. Yeah, ghost kitty. There's a couple of stray cats out behind my house. There's one little kitten that it's actually very friendly, and she comes in the house sometimes and hangs out with us. And then there's another cat that is very, very scary looking. Um, it's not like it's like mean or anything. It just like appears to be like kind of scary, almost like a ghost cat. Like if you guys have seen Pet Cemetery, it looks like the cat after it came back from the dead. That's what it looks like. But it's a very sweet cat, it's kind of scared of humans, obviously, but it seems normal to an extent. It just looks a little off. We're gonna switch over to March of the Oni. So, you guys want to see the waffle picture? We can do that really quick. I'm only gonna keep it up for a little bit though. There's one of my cats, Waffle, standing up like a meerkat or something. But yeah, that's that. But no, I don't know. Like the cats outside, they're cute and they're friendly, but one of them is a little bit more social than the other one. But yeah, the reason why we call it the ghost kitty is because one day we saw it in the driveway and it ran away into the woods and it ran like clean across our backyard and it didn't leave any tracks. So we didn't really like we didn't know what to think of it. We're like, okay, is this a ghost cat or not? Like I've seen it since then, but I've never I've never touched it. Like it sniffed my hand and ran away. Meaning it very well could be a ghost cat still. Yeah, the cat is yeah, Waffle's very she's something. She's something for sure. Why does Wu barely use his powers? I don't know. Maybe it's just like a limited amount. Maybe he doesn't have that much power left. Maybe he's trying to save it for something big. I don't know. We've seen him use his power before, so it's not like he doesn't have it. But maybe the situation just doesn't call for it most of the time. I also think it's because creation is a very difficult element to show on screen. So they kind of have to get creative with it. Again, it's not like the other elements. Like with ice, it's easy. You can just shoot ice out of your hand or freeze stuff. But for Wu, I think it's a little bit more difficult to show creation. Same with Garmadon. Like Garmadon's element just kind of turned quickly into like purple blasts of energy, which I suppose is destruction. But as I said, it's kind of difficult to show those elements, I think. Who's the first Spinjitzu Master's wife? There's been a couple of rumors regarding who it is, but nothing confirmed just yet. I think it's just going to be an unnamed person that we'll probably never find out. Some people have been theorizing that it's Mistake or that lady from the Never Realm. What was her name? Sorla. Can never remember. Which very well could be either of those. I kind of want to look it up right now. Ninjago. I think it's not how you spell it. I can't spell today. Sorla. It is Sorla, right? I'm not stupid. Yeah, it is Sorla. All right, cool. Yeah, it's either her or Mistake. People have been theorizing. So, yeah, he spawned his tea. For sure. Yeah, with creation, it is very difficult to show it. Favorite episode of each season. That's kind of a big question for a stream. But when we get done with our live streams, I will do that. I'll go through each season and give out my favorite episode. But I gotta wait until we're done with the streams. So we have the rest of season 8 and all of season 9 to cover before I do videos like that. I'm also gonna make a big video where I rank every single episode of Ninjago from worst to best. So that's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to doing that. It's going to be a very long process, and it might take me like a couple of days to a week to make it, but it's going to be fun when it's out. So, whatever happened to Nauticon? Nauticon kind of got put back into the teapot, and last we saw of that teapot, Clutch Powers was kind of doing some weird stuff with it at the beginning of season 12. So, who knows for sure where Nauticon is right now. Yeah, I don't think it's Mistake either. I think if it's anyone, any of the two characters that I mentioned, it's going to be Sorla. But with Mistake, I don't think it's her. Why is my YouTube name TannerFishies? Because that's just the name I came up with when I was a kid, and it's just kind of stuck ever since. I've never had any desire to change it. So, rate WandaVision from 1 to 10. I think in my review I gave it an 8 out of 10. I think if I had to pick one, I can't really remember. But if you guys want to check out my WandaVision review, it is up on the channel right now. It's like an hour long. It's kind of absurd, but feel free to check it out if you would like to. And yeah, Fishies is not my last name, for those of you guys wondering. A lot of people think that. WandaVision sucks. I know some people don't like it. I don't know. I thought it was good. I wasn't as disappointed by the finale as some other people were, I guess. When am I going to stream The Island? The Island we're not going to. The Island I am making like reviews for, like physical review videos for. I've already done the first 2 episodes. So, yeah, the WandaVision review is quite the long one. I don't blame anyone who doesn't watch it because of the length. It is quite long. We had a lot to say. Which season have I seen the most? Probably season 4, if I had to pick one. I think I've watched season 4 the most. In terms of seasons I've seen the least, I've only seen season 11 all the way through, I think, once. And same with Prime Empire. I think season 11 and Prime Empire I've only seen once. Stuff like season 13, I watched it a couple of times. When it came out on Netflix, I watched it all again as well. And yeah, I think for the most part, though, I've seen season 4 the most. Who won the Tournament of Elements Legacy set? Oh, that was a long time ago. Like, the giveaway winner has already received the prize in the mail. Like, that was announced a long time ago. I think his name was Blue Flames, if I'm remembering correctly. am I going to review seasons 13 and 14 again for the series? No, we're going to be stopping these live streams at season 9. We're going to review season 9 all the way through, and then just cut it off from there. Yeah, for my WandaVision review, I reviewed it with my roommate, because we've been watching it week by week, and she really likes it. She had a lot to say, and she asked if she could be in the video too. I'm like, sure. People like really enjoyed her in the last video that we did together, so figured I'd bring her back. And she's also trying to start off like her own influencer career, I guess. So I thought the fishies part of your name meant that you were pondering about Ninjago theories. No, but that is a really good explanation, though. I've never thought of that, but that is super good. No, it just came from me as a kid, just coming up with a name that I enjoyed. Let her talk right now. I don't even think she's here. I think she left earlier this morning. Either that or she's in the other room just hanging out. So, what's my real name? I'm not going to tell you my real name. Like, my real first name is Tanner, but my real last name is not Fishies. So, Rumi was really fun in the episode where she guessed all the ninjas' elements. Yeah, she actually apologizes for that in the WandaVision review. She apologizes to all the Kai stands for getting Kai's element very wrong. Favorite Cole line. The first thing that comes to mind is all the times he says cake or mentions cake. I don't know. I really like the quote though from season 13 where he's fighting the Skull Sorcerer, and he's like he's talking really big to the Skull Sorcerer, and he's got the Blades of Deliverance, and he's like the Skull Sorcerer says something, and Cole's like, "You tried and failed, and this time I'm ready for you," or something like that. I really liked that. I thought that was super cool. Yeah, she said that Kai's element was lightning because the hair looked like spiky lightning. But otherwise, I really enjoyed Cole's line where he's like, "Oh, you know, my body's a temple." You got to appreciate Cole actually trying to get better after Wu disappeared. Watching a Dream manhunt and sort of sound like him. Yeah, I'm Dream's alt. I'm secretly doing Ninjago videos in addition to doing Minecraft videos on like the biggest Minecraft channel ever. Isn't like one of the biggest Minecraft creators called like Technoblade or something like that? Kind of seems a little fishy. You know what I'm saying? It's like, Technoblade. Where have I heard that before? No, nothing happened yesterday when I went outside. We heard like a big crash, and literally it was nothing. I couldn't find anything at all. So I don't know what that was. Maybe something fell in the attic or something. I don't know. We do have an attic, but I don't go up there. So yeah, we can switch over to season 3. Rebooted. I like Rebooted just as much as the next guy. But yeah, I don't watch a lot of Minecraft YouTubers, so. Do you like to scare Ninjago fans with anime figures? It is quite funny sometimes. Like, if you just post an anime picture on Twitter, people get scared of it. Yeah, I think that, like, I don't watch, like, Dream or Technoblade or whatever, but I think, didn't he say, like, one of you guys linked me, like, Technoblade's video where he actually says where his name came from. And he says that it was, like, a Ninjago reference or something. So, I thought that was cool. Where the Dragon Hunters come from? I think they were always, like, beings in the first realm, weren't they? Unless they came from somewhere else. But I think like a lot of these realms, they just have like indigenous populations and people that are there. So today's your birthday. Well, happy birthday to you. Hope you have a good one. Where's the Lloyd alarm clock? It's back underneath my dresser. I kind of have it hidden because I'm worried it's gonna stab me in my sleep. So can you imagine if Ninjago was an anime? I think it'd be a lot of fun. So I've always thought that would have been cool. Yeah, he said that it was like a Ninjago reference in that clip that one of you guys linked me. He's like, I think it was like a Ninjago reference or something. Obviously, that's not the quote, but you know, he mentions Ninjago, so check your attic. There could be something valuable in there from my childhood. Not really likely. I've only lived here for like a couple months now, so if anything, it's just something that was left over from either the people that live downstairs or whoever lived in this current section of the house just yet. Thoughts on the Tornado of Creation? Tornado of Creation, I think, is cool in small doses. I'm glad they stopped using it because it was just kind of like a cop out whenever the ninja were in like a sticky situation. It's just like, all right, well, Tornado of Creation time. Let's make it work. I really didn't like it in March for the Oni, for example, because that was like how they defeated the Oni, and I thought that was really dumb, just to be blunt. So, um, yeah, maybe the dragon hunters like came in afterwards. I'm not sure if they were like original beings in the first realm. Otherwise, they might have just came in from another realm. Not super clear on that. Um, what sets do Island Nia and Cole come in? Those are the only ones I'm missing. Island Nia comes in the Jungle Chopper Bike, and Island Cole comes in the Keeper's Village. I think both of which are indeed exclusive to those sets. It's looking really cool about Technoblade, but typed Dream. Hey, I don't blame you, man. Dream's awesome. I don't really care about Dream all that much. I am Dream, you know. I'm secretly running a Ninjago channel. If you go on my main channel, which is totally the YouTube channel Dream, you can ask me about it and I'll answer it. Don't do that. It's probably not a good idea. When I started watching anime, my mom called it a cartoon. That's like the joke, isn't it? Like, I know my parents called it like, oh, those Japanese cartoons, and it's like, thanks. Subtle. Might be able to get the City Gardens in June or July. Yeah, I remember you mentioning that in streams before. I think that's awesome. I think that goes for pretty much anybody in the chat. If you can get the City Gardens, I'd recommend it. Just don't break the bank when you're trying to do it, obviously. But it's a good set. It's very much worth it. So if you can get the City Gardens, I'd recommend checking it out. When's my next giveaway? Probably when we hit 100K. We're slowly creeping up there. We're almost at 95K, which will mean we're halfway there. Yeah, I don't really watch a lot of Minecraft YouTubers either. Like, I'm not big into Minecraft. I used to be when I was super young. Like, my friends and I would make Minecraft worlds and play together or whatever. But, you know, I don't really play that much Minecraft nowadays. How did I move all my Lego? To the new apartment, very carefully. I basically just loaded up my car from my parents' house with all my Lego sets and parts and just very carefully drove the 2 hours and spent a lot of time unpacking them from my car and bringing them up to my apartment. It took a very long time, but luckily everything was safe, nothing got broken, and my biggest fear was like dropping something out in the yard, especially like in the snow. That would just have been a nightmare. Would I recommend the Gardens or multiple other sets? Okay, let's say theoretically for a second you had the choice between picking the Gardens or getting, say, for example, the Legacy sets combined with the Season 14 sets. I would honestly recommend getting the Gardens. I think the Gardens is a very like big staple of the Ninjago like just thing right now, the Ninjago theme. It's like the biggest set of all time, and it's the big 10th anniversary set. It's basically like a giant milestone set, so I'd recommend getting that. Like, it has a little bit more significance as opposed to like some of the other Legacy stuff or the Season 14 stuff, but it's ultimately up to you. Yeah, it is quite expensive though. That's what I'm saying. It's like if you can get it, I'd recommend it. If you can't, then buy some other smaller stuff for Ninjago if you'd like. I know not everyone's going to be able to afford the Gardens, but I'm just saying it is worth it if you can get it. So I was thinking about what I could give away for like 100K. I'd want to do something. Some people have been suggesting me to give away the City Gardens, but I'm just here like, yeah, I don't have the money for that. So I barely had the money to buy it once. So, um, I'm not going to buy it twice. I'll do something. I'll probably do a vote again, depending on when we hit 100K. I'll probably do a vote talking about which sets you want to see given away. And then if you guys want to vote on that, then that'd be cool. Of course, when it comes out. But yeah, something like the Gardens is going to be kind of impossible for me to give away. So, um, yeah, the Gardens is quite difficult to display. I originally had it on my desk, but then my cats started eating pieces off of it, specifically Waffle, because she's a troublemaker. So I ended up putting it on my top shelf, and it doesn't really fit. Like, it touches the ceiling, so I had to take off some stuff on the top of it, and just kind of file it down a little bit. But it works. Yeah, like ultimately, whatever you guys decide to do is, perfectly fine. um, Least favorite anime? In terms of anime that I've seen, there's definitely some that I've seen that are just dumb and waste of time. The first one that comes to mind right now is Citrus. I didn't really care for that anime all that much. I doubt anyone's ever heard of it. Um, but yeah, I didn't really care for Citrus. That's probably my least favorite. Yeah, basically what I did for the Guardians to like file it down, I just took off that big antenna that was like sticking out the top because it didn't really fit on the shelf. It would touch the ceiling, so I just took off the antenna, and that's about it. We're watching Demon Slayer. Yeah, Demon Slayer is okay. It's not the best thing ever. It's not the best thing I've seen. It's something, you know. I can see why it's popular, but I don't care for it all that much. Oh, of course, oranges aren't bad fruits, but the anime citrus, no, that's bad. That's very bad. Thoughts on any of the Dragon Ball series? I've never watched. Basically, I don't really watch anything for Dragon Ball at all. You know, never never really watched that. Braggy said that the seasons 12 and 13 contain a hint to a future season. I could do a video on that. I think they're just talking about like the Vengestone Buyer. I think that's like as big of a hint towards future seasons as we can get. Otherwise, I'm going to be doing a video later today talking about a potential returning character. So maybe maybe that's the big hint. Either that or during Prime Empire when Clutch Powers opened up the little Nauticon teapot. Yeah, I've never watched any Dragon Ball. I've just never been super big into it. Season 7, certainly. We can jump into Hands of Time for a little bit. Have I watched all the Pokemon series? I haven't seen like every single episode of Pokemon, but I've been getting caught up with what's been happening. Like I think I used to watch every episode with X and Y. I think X and Y is like the only series, like XY, XYZ. That's the only series where I've watched like every episode. But after that, I've just been checking in every now and then, seeing what's been going on. But yeah, XY is probably my favorite anime for Pokemon. I used to watch a lot of Diamond and Pearl when I was a kid too, because I started off with Sinnoh, being a Pokemon fan, and by the time those games were coming out, I was watching the anime, collecting the cards. No, the villain or the character is not Unagami. It's a different character. It's a character introduced in season 11, but kind of been hinting at stuff going on in future seasons, so it doesn't really fit with the seasons 12 and 13 thing. But I think there's been a couple of hints towards a certain character returning. It's not a big character or anything like that. Black and White was cool. I didn't really care for like the Black and White anime as much as some other people did. I liked the games though. Like Black and White 2 are perfect games. Old Jungle Raider or Legacy? Um, Honestly, I like the older one. The Legacy one isn't bad though. I could kind of go either or. Give away the Catamaran Sea Battle? Maybe, if that's the one that you guys vote on. Again, I don't want to decide just yet because we still got a ways to go until we hit 100, but depending on what's out at the time, like when we hit 100, who knows, maybe even the season 15 stuff will be out now. Now, the character is not Nauticon. It's kind of like a side character. So, kind of like a character that was played off for a joke. Might have dove-related abilities. Opinion on Star Wars? Some stuff's okay. I don't really care for the series as a whole, but I really like some stuff. Like some of the movies I think are good, but I don't know. For the most part, Star Wars isn't really my thing. Best Ninjago characters besides any of the Elemental Masters. If I had to pick a character that wasn't any of the Elemental Masters, let's just say like a side character. I don't know. I really like Borg. I like Cyrus Borg. I think he's cool. Dr. Julian's fun. In terms of other villains that aren't Elemental Masters, like Master Chen is up there for me. So it could be Fugitive. There'd be no way of knowing. Yeah, like there's been a couple of hints towards like Fugitive's return. So I'm gonna be talking about that later tonight in a video. It's already all done and everything like that, so it'll be up later tonight. Do I watch AL Bricks Studios? I do not. Is it AL Bricks or Al Bricks? I've heard it pronounced like two different ways. Either way, no, I don't. No, I don't watch him. I tend not to watch like other Ninjago oriented channels. I don't know. It's just always been like a pet peeve of mine, like watching other channels. I don't really want my like opinions and thoughts to like be based off of what other people say. So, especially because I myself make Ninjago content, I don't want stuff to overlap and then be accused of stealing content from people, which has happened before. So, where's a cheap place to buy sets? If you're looking for like cheap options, I'd recommend eBay or Bricklink, because with Bricklink you can always order pieces individually and like build the set that way. Otherwise, I think eBay has like some pretty good deals on certain sets, but if you're looking for like older sets, it's going to be a little pricey. It's L Bricks, like the name Al. Okay. Yeah, because I always used to say AL Bricks and that never really sounded right. I don't really watch Ashton Flash either. I've seen some of his stuff show up in my recommended, but I've never really watched his stuff all that much. So the only other like big Lego YouTuber that I watch is Jang Bricks. Like I've been watching Jang Bricks for like years. So do people steal my content? Well, YouTube's got like this little feature that lets you like content match. It automatically seeks out other videos and tells you like which videos have been like direct rips of your videos or like just using elements from it. So it's a lot of fun. Like sometimes it's like a 100% match, sometimes it's not. Either way, I think it helps me. I've had people steal content before. Yeah. um, Not super fun. I really like Jang Bricks too, yeah. I think he was like the first channel that I was ever subscribed to. I remember watching him all the way back in 2010 when he was doing like Hero Factory reviews. I feel like everyone's heard of Jang. Any Lego fan who doesn't watch Jang has something wrong with him. Jang Bricks is awesome. He's been said to be like the Bob Ross of this community, and very much so. He's very fun to watch. Very calming. I love how he's kind of branching out and doing like other channels as well. Like he has like his like pure builds channel, has a lot of other stuff going on. I like that. I also used to like his second channel where he would review knives. Thoughts on Serena and Pokemon X and Y? Serena's cool. Not as cool as Dawn, in my opinion. I think Dawn is still one of like the best female characters in Pokemon, but Serena's cool too. She's like a close second. Yeah, his Hero Factory videos were so good. Yeah, I remember the Ganache bricks stuff. That was really weird. I'm not sure what that was all about, but it was funny. But it was also just like really strange. It almost reminded me like of what I did with my Ninjago XD series. Like it wasn't funny, but it was just like really weird, which I guess is the appeal. Yeah, we can run season 13 images for the remainder of the stream. We only got a couple of minutes left, so. Is feeding pigeons a crime? I'm sure in some places it's kind of frowned upon, but at the end of the day, all you're doing is feeding birds. Who cares? Bionicle versus Hero Factory. I'm kind of on both sides. Like, I have more childhood memories of Hero Factory, but Bionicle is just so rich with lore and characters. Otherwise, I don't know. Personally, I'd want to say Hero Factory because that's what I grew up with, but Bionicle is still very good. What if Skylar died? Would I die? Probably not. I'd be very sad, but I don't think I would die from some like weird connection or whatever. Um, Top four favorite Kalos Pokemon. I'm not sure what my top four would be, but I know my favorite Pokemon of all time is Sylveon, and that just so happens to be a Kalos Pokemon. So yeah, I'm still big into a Pokemon channel, or big into Pokemon. I had a Pokemon channel before, was what I was trying to say, but ended up deleting it because I just couldn't balance the work between the Pokemon channel and my main channel. So yeah, I'm a really big fan of Pokemon. I pre-ordered Pokemon or the Diamond and Pearl remakes yesterday. So with only a few minutes left in the stream, why don't we turn over to rapid fire questions? Anything that I can answer in just a quick sentence or two. Let's go ahead and end that. Rapid fire questions. On what minute did I start talking about the good? Maybe like 17 minutes in, 17, 18 minutes. Lego Pokemon. Probably not going to happen because I think Mega Constructs has the license to Pokemon. Lucario or Mew. Probably Lucario. I like that movie though. Lucario and the Mystery with Mew. Or Mystery of Mew, whatever it's called. I like it. Yeah, with second channel stuff, like it's I don't know. I found it hard to like even find time to create videos on that other channel. I just don't think that's like a very good thing for me right now, I guess. Will they ever update my villain ranking? Maybe someday. Maybe after season 14 rounds out and we get to see a little bit more about Chief Mamatus. Maybe I'll update that. Favorite type of Pokemon? I've always been big into like ice types. I think ice types are super cool. Like ice types, water types as well. There's a lot of really cool Pokemon out there of every type though. Am I excited for Falcon and Winter Soldier? Yeah, I am. I was looking forward to it a lot more than WandaVision. So hopefully it's actually a little better than what WandaVision was. Like WandaVision wasn't awful, but not as good as it could have been, I guess. Do I still have the Captain America shield in my room? I do not. That actually went to my dad. I gave it to my dad because he was setting up a movie room. So I gave it to him to use as like a prop in his movie room. So I do have a Stormbreaker on the desk though. So favorite Pokemon's Froakie. It's not a bad one. Lego Transformers, for sure. At the same time, though, I think Transformers is owned by what, Creo? Did they have the license for it to make buildable bricks for Transformers? Could I make a video explaining how space works in Ninjago? I suppose. I'm just not sure what I would say. I mean, like with space-related stuff, we've only seen it like once, and it seems to work the same way that space works in real life. But I'll write it down as a potential idea. Thoughts on Spider on the Rock? Beautiful character, easily top 10. Not as not he's better than Scorpion on Rock for sure. Greninja's not a bad Pokemon either. I had a competitive Greninja that I used back in the day when I still played competitively during X and Y. Nowadays, I don't really play competitive all that much. That kind of segues into this question: do I play games? Not so much. Sometimes I'll play a game here and there, but I'm not really a video game person. If anything, I just play Pokemon. That's about it. Want to know more about the real parents of Jay? Yeah, same here. I hope we get like an actual like maybe flashback or some type of story dedicated to Jay's real parents. That way we can actually figure out what was going on and what actually happened. So, does Creo still exist? I have no idea. I haven't really been looking into their stuff. Why don't we answer one more question before we wrap things up here? Let's get one more big question. Big strong question. Okay, let's see. Hold on one. Favorite ninja base. Why don't we do that? That's a good one. So, in terms of favorite ninja bases, I've always been a big fan of the Jitsu Temple. Even though we hadn't seen it for so long, it was only like the ninjas' bases. It was only the ninjas' base for like one season, I think. It was only like in Hands of Time. But it was still a really cool base, up in the sky on like a floating rock. That was a lot of fun. Otherwise, the Destiny's Bounty is still solid, very solid ninja base. But the Temple of Jitsu is still very good in terms of like a ninja base, I'd say. Very unique. I liked it quite a bit. So, yeah, guys, that'll pretty much wrap it up for the stream. Here's our schedule. We can start the end of the stream tradition where we spam the word hug in the chat. I will do it twice because it's the second day of the week, I think. I think it's Tuesday. And this is our schedule. We stream Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. Central Time, with an episode review and a Q&A. We will update this day by day. If there's ever a day where I can't stream, I will let you guys know via my community tab. That'll pretty much do it for the stream today, guys. Thanks a lot for checking this one out. I am very tired, so I'm going to probably go nap after I wrap this up here. So wish me luck in terms of napping. But yeah, guys, that'll pretty much do it for this one. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Thanks a lot for being awesome. Couple more videos on the channel today, so be sure to check those out if you would like to. Those are going to be coming out later, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this one. Tomorrow we're going to be talking about the game of masks. That is the next episode that we're going to be discussing, and that'll be tomorrow's stream. So same time tomorrow. Feel free to check that out if you would like to. all the hugs in the chat. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. But yeah, guys, that'll pretty much do it for this one. Thanks a lot for checking in. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for being cool. And I'll see you guys in the next stream. Have a fantastic rest of your day.